Hi, this is the music judge and jury, aka Queen Millennial. And we're going to be talking about 702 today, honey, which is also the area code for Las Vegas, which is where I reside currently today. Okay, but of course, first, as always, a word. Now, I think we all can agree that life is like a bedazzling box of chocolates. Okay, dressed up, nicely bowed. You pull that thing off, and just like a box of chocolates, you just don't know what you're going to get. You just don't know what you're going to get once you step out your door in the morning, afternoon, whatever. You just don't know what you're going to get on the way to the workplace. You just don't know what you're going to get. And that, of course, is unsettling for most of us, but that's a life that, unfortunately, we are subject to. But anyway, let's get back to what we came here to talk about. Welcome back to It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Hi, I'm Worklina. It's nice to meet you, the workhorse. And of course, this show is about popular music, popular artists from today, yesterday, and beyond, of course. Now, and of course, independent recording artists, yes. Today we're here to talk about 702, the girls from the far, what is this? From the far left, we have Misha Grinstead. We have Irish Grinstead. And the lead singer of the group, Miss Camila, Williams. Okay, now, everybody get comfortable. This is not a real expose. This is for, excuse me. You know, we're all getting over a little cough and a little thing, a little common cold, right now, right? Anyway. So, lost my train of thought. God darn it. Anyway. This is not a real expose. This is for those of you who are new and you're not in on the inside joke. Okay? This is really my observation over the years. Really my digging into the groups that I love and the artists I love so much over the years. Because that's how deeply entrenched and involved I am in the music, in that business, and being an inspiring artist myself since I was 6 years old as an elder millennial. Okay, so I just want you all to get comfortable, relax, grab your, Cheez-Its, your Twizzlers, your energy drinks, Chardonnay, Alizé, Marlowe, but tell us something, honey, because this is It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Stay tuned.
Life, they wanna be around, no matter how you are getting down. There's really nothing that you can do. Push past all the doubts and believe in you. Push past all the doubts and believe in you. Cause when it's all over, said and done, there's only one, there's only one. Take it by the horns and be on the run. Take it by the horns and be on the run. Even when you get down, yes, they wanna be around and they wanna see you frown. One life, they wanna be around.
Welcome back to It's That Girl or It's Not That Girl. Now, I'm Peyton 3.0, the artist, musician, entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, not the influencer. Of course, those are great platforms and tools to build that brand, that business, that reputation, but most importantly, the community. And hopefully you, yes you, become a part of this community today by hitting that like button. Share people that you know that like artists, commentary, reaction reviews, and to truly become a part of this community here that's slowly growing every day, you must comment, subscribe, notification bell. Now we're going to get slipping right into the story of the girls from my perspective, a POV. Here we go. Now there have been many lineups. I'm sure you've seen all the other channels who talked about 702 before, right? We're not going to do it like they do. We're going to do it like I do. Okay? So there's been many variations of this group, but this is the variation that a lot of us know. This is the variation of the group that we know and have come to in the first place. From the very first single to pop out the box, Stilo, okay, and their very origins, because they are from Las Vegas, right? Hence the area code and the group name 702. Although I have not changed my number, it's still in the 818s in Los Angeles, the Valley, San Fernando, but that's neither here nor there, okay? Now, my girl 702 popped out that box with Stilo, and I think I was around 6 or 7, and I liked what they had to give. And of course they had Missy Elliott, but at this time Missy Elliott wasn't a huge force yet. You know, she was in a group called Sister, but they didn't really make noise like that, so she wasn't the Missy Elliott that we knew. But she would be popping off every now and then, the artists she released in videos. We just didn't know who the heck that was. Okay, this is one of those times. All right. Now, with Stilo being such a hit and me getting my life, this is when the radio was really something, folks. This is when the radio was really the thing. There was no streaming. There was no internet the way that we know it today. There was no social media. There was none of that, okay? Anyway, the girls were really making an impression in the GP. And again, for those of you who don't know who the GP is, it stands for the general public, the mainstream, right? Then they had Get It Together, which really solidified them in the public eye of the GP, okay? And I loved it. I bought this. This is when singles really the thing, when you go to the store and buy individual singles. So I bought that single. I didn't buy it because I wasn't old enough. Had my mama buy it, okay? And I was getting my life, right? And at that time, I'm 7. What do I have any business liking these kind of songs? Okay? I should be still talking about my ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and Barney, honey. Which I was to a certain extent, but I was also into these mainstream acts that would come out because I also want to be a singer and a star too. Okay, so I kept my ear to the radio industry in the mainstream streets. Okay, now the thing with the girls though is that they were really formed on shaky territory because this final iteration of 702, Mila or Camila over there, the Chocolate Sister, was not originally a part of this lineup. You know, they had the twin sister who had died, which is the twin sister of Irish, there in the middle. And there was another girl, she didn't work out, she's gone. But I don't know why, because when you hear the girls sing on All I Want, you have to research that yourself. When you hear the girls sing on All I Want, okay, all don't get a chance to sing, and they all sound wonderful. So I don't know why they had thought they had to go get somebody else, not only to be another member of the group, that makes sense, but to be the lead singer of the group when these two girls at the time had fabulous voices, right? Currently these days, they've been out of practice, they've been in the feelings, so as a result, you're hearing not impressive vocals from the girls. But we're not talking about the present day, we're talking about now. And yes, unfortunately, the girl in the middle right there, Miss Irish, like her twin sister, I believe, what year was that? Was that last year, 2 years ago? She surprisingly lost her life too. So now she's gone. And there's only two of them that come together every now and then to do a little concert too. Kind of like TLC for the fans. Okay? But anyway, we're not there yet. So, there's much turmoil in the group and jealousy towards Camila, which she didn't do anything. She came in, she was hired to do a job, and that's what she would do. But the jealousy was there because the girls would start to resent that she would get most of the parts and that she was in the front when originally it was their group in the first place, and it was supposed to be them. They were able to do their thing on most of these tracks as well, but they were assigned to a label. They get obviously full control, especially of new acts. And this is the formula that they thought would be most successful, right? Even though, isn't it funny that most of the time the formula would be to put the two light-skinned girls up at the forefront, and the dark-skinned girl would be more towards the back or unseen or not as important as the light-skinned girls, right? Especially at times like the 90s, right? But that wasn't the case. The dark-skinned girl was the one that was the lead and in front, while the two light-skinned girls were the ones that basically were in the back, you know, or just did the harmonies and the choruses, you know, along with each other. Well, that jealousy would be the one of the main reasons that ended up kind of derailing what 702 truly could have been. You know what I'm saying? Because these girls had every album and single they would put out would be better than the last one, right? But they would have an argument, and Camila wasn't trying to come into the group for that. She was just trying to do a job. She wanted to be cordial, but with the history and what she came into the group to, you know, was what she would have to face basically the whole time of being in 702. So, you know, she decided to part ways and do her thing, and you know, they come back together, you know, whatnot. Particularly after that second album. Now, it would take them a while to come back, right? And I am still a huge fan, not knowing that any of this, first of all, is going on in the background. That's a huge fan and a budding artist myself. Where My Girl's At was one of the most prominent songs, and the video was everything and matched the aesthetic of what most videos of the Y2K era was doing. And it was just a song that really took them to another stratosphere. I think that's still their biggest song to date, right? But with that being said, 702 would honestly go on hiatus really after the concert for that album. They would just go on hiatus because the tension was high. And so they would spend the longest time away from the studio or whatnot. And ended up re-emerging again in 2000, was that 3? With the third album, Star. Okay? And let me tell you something. This album did not get the push in what it deserved, because this was their best album of all of the albums they had recorded and released to the public. It was their best album, from the sonics to the subject matter, the way that they approached it, you know. But really, they came back together on not the best of conditions. There was still that jealousy there during this time of the album, which would inevitably split them apart once again, making Star their last album, you know, to date. And granted, right now, at the time of this recording, it is 2025. Okay? Anyway, they released a few singles from that album, but the label wasn't really spending the money they needed to push them like they used to push them, right? They weren't spending that money like that no more. They weren't prioritizing them. Yeah, they didn't record the album or whatever. Yeah, but they weren't spending the money they need to spend in order to keep them at the top of people's minds. A lot of people didn't even know that they came back. They thought that the last thing they did was Where My Girls At in that second album, and that was it. So here the girls are with a whole new album. And most people never knew, unless you were like a diehard, I mean like super fans of 702, you knew about the album. But other than that, you didn't know. See, I was the girl that was sitting up on the music video channels, right? The MTVs, the BETs, and all of that, the extra channels on cable, the MTV jams, whatever, and all the channels they had. And that's how I discovered that they had another album, because the video came on, right? But if I wasn't avidly just watching those channels, would I have known that they had a third album if I was just a basic listener and not a budding wannabe artist myself? Probably no. Okay, probably no. And so with that being said, the song Star was the lead single, and that was a good song. I actually, on this album, I have no critiques and no comments, because every song on here was just great. And it's still an album that I go back to today out of all their albums and replay, repeat, replay, because it's just that good. And this is the album that would be slept on to no fault of their own, at least when it came to the promotional and marketing side of things. But because the label was just not prioritizing them, didn't take them as seriously, probably saw them as a financial threat in a lot of ways, because of them knowing about the shakiness and the group and the jealousy between the girls, right? So Amelia has to come out to the situation where she knows she's not highly favored to no part of her own, and she's thinking like, everything's good, everything's peachy, we had our time, apart, let's come back together and do this album. All the while, the same feelings and animosity for Mila was still there. Still there. And so Camila had a choice to make, and she decided I was getting out of here. Okay? Camila, the lead singer, the chocolate beautiful girl, was deciding that she was not going to stay here no more. And so the album just flippity flopped all together. Now, there was one song that seemed to make its way into the GP somehow, called, was it Feelings? I don't know if it was Feelings. I feel like it was Feelings. No, it was I Still Love You, the Pharrell produced song. Now, I'm not sure exactly how it popped off, with all the turmoil that was happening behind the scenes with that particular album cycle, with the girls themselves and the label drama, but it did. But that was it. The album didn't get no shine. The album didn't get no high praise from the GP. It was just, here it is, and there it went. And so that was it for the girls. That was really the final nail in the coffin when it came to what the girls could have been had the animosity and jealousy and the way things played out. No matter whose fault it was, if it was not there, how many albums could they have had? If it was not there, how big would 702 really truly have been and maintained by this point? How many transformations could they have made? How many adaptations could they have made to still be relevant to some point today? Well, just like the owl of that Tootsie Roll Pop, the world will never know, okay? So, they, fast forward, they come back together every now and then, do a little tour and show for the fans still there, get their little money, and then they go off again. And this will be a continued pattern. Okay? And who has seen that show Encore on BET? Raise your hand. Because the only two that would appear from the group would be the sisters Irish and Misha. But Camila, the lead singer, would not be joining because it was telling, because you knew that tension and those things were still there, right? And she didn't want to put herself in a situation to do that reality, whatever. She didn't want it. Not on that show anyway. So the sisters were the only ones that would appear on that show, and that wasn't too long ago. But the sisters were obviously terribly out of practice when it came to their vocals. It had sounded like, what were y'all doing? What happened? Why do y'all voices sound like that? Right? But that's what it was. Out of tune, out of practice, don't know what they were doing. Where's your technique? It's as if the girls had never sang before. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. 702 at this current moment just ends up like TLC. They're performing shows. They lost Irish not too long ago, so she's gone. So now it's just the two of them too, like TLC. So both the twin sisters who are in the group, they're deleted. So it's now just the two of them. And so those two continue to perform their catalog, to their fan base, to bring in the money, And that's basically it so far. Will there be another 702 album, especially without the third member? I honestly don't think there will be. I think this is it. Just like TLC. I mean, like TLC came back to do one more album, just the two of them. So I'm not counting anybody out. I'm just saying I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe the loss of Irish will bring them closer at this point. I don't know. But the point is, this is where they currently stand. Right? And their last album was literally in 2003. So yeah, it's tough out here for these girl groups. But anyway, that is a tea on the girls, right? And that is my POV involvement and my love for the girls, despite the drama that was going on in the background, for that basically stunted their growth. Shout out to Stunted Growth, the YouTube channel. I salute. And of course, that is the end of this. Now, if you got your life today, you learned something or whatnot, then please go ahead and hit that like button. And then share people that you know that like artists' commentary, reaction, reviews. Okay? Now, again, to truly become a part of this community, you have to go ahead and comment, subscribe, and of course, notification bell for more. Now, this has been Peyton 3.0. The artist, the musician, the entertainer, not the content creator, not the YouTuber, not the influencer. Okay? Also known as Work Leaner, the workhorse. Also known as the Audacity Queen. Also known as the Technolic Queen. All right. Now you've been here for this long, so you deserve an applause, of course. But as a bonus for staying to the end, you get a reward. Okay? So I did say that I was an artist, darling. Did I not say that? I said I was a musician, entertainer. So, with that being said, I want to give you the sampler plat. I want to do 3 things. I want to give you the acapella rap of one of my songs. I'm going to play one of my songs that's more commercial to the GP. And of course, I'm going to do a cover for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. Let me take you back. Here we go. It was even harder cause I'm gay. Listen to the price they would have to pay. Would never dare to camouflage. Being on the fake messed up mirage. Now I'm doing shit here on my own. Ready to reclaim my golden throne. Boys come around and they say what's up. And I see the crowd, they're about to erupt. And now, the song.
Looking for a stress reliever.
You're looking for a stress reliever out there.
Drugs, alcohol,
Here we go.
but let me tell you what you need to do. Here we go.
Blood pressure, you worked all day like the messenger. Worked so hard that the bills are high. All you do is try me a freaking try. Watch that clock every freaking day. Still on your money, you got to pay. Fuck that shit, man, you need relief, but you got this grief for the fucking cheap. Some take care of the freaking kids. Munching your plate for your freaking lid. Stress too much, always in a rush. You need to rush, you're feeling flush. What is it that you're gonna do? Gonna have some relief in you. Time to get out with the music plays every freaking day. All I gotta say is jump, turn that music loud. I wanna see your hands in the crowd. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Lose your mind to the beat. Shake it up, keep moving them feet. You gotta get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up, get it turned up. Get the stress.
And that is all I will be giving you, okay? If you want to hear that song in its entirety, then comment in the comment section. You ready? Let me hear that song. And I most certainly will, absolutely for free. Won't you sing this song with me? And you try just a little more times. I wanna make you a believer. Wanna show you what it's like every single night to be born again, babe, to be born again. You stay just another few nights. I'm gonna make you pray to Jesus. Wanna show you to the light every single night to be born again, babe, to be born again.
Life, they wanna be around, no matter how you are getting down. There's really nothing that you can do. Push past all the doubts and believe in you. Push past all the doubts and believe in you. Comes when it's all over, said and done. There's only one, yeah, there's only one. Take it by the horns and be on the run. Take it by the horns and be on the run. Even when you get down, yes, they wanna be around and they wanna see you frown.
One life.
They wanna be around